I've been sick the past few days. I went from the 9 to the 10 of Wands to this process here. Temperance, I suppose. Or maybe it's all temperance. That is the transformation for Taurus, the spirit of Scorpio. Pros and cons. When you feel the shadows, you look to the light. You know the light is the reflection of the self. When you feel the light and you look to the shadow, you think the shadow is the reflection of the self. And we all oscillate in that subconscious circuit, cycle, awareness, belief. But we're all going through the same things at different times, different speeds, different velocities. So value is something you cultivate in life. Awareness shows you what that was, what it is. Repression also shows you what that is, what that was, because that is the part of the awareness you have not yet taken out of the box. So lowest common denominator values. The enemy savior energy. You fight the system which benefits you. You benefit the system which fights you. But it's the reflection within. We're trying to bring it out collectively. Or something is living it out. At a different level, different layer, beyond. Lowest common denominator values, we all settle into this because this is base survival. This is why we sacrifice potential for the knowns. The devil you know better than the one you don't, etc. But if you really analyze it, that is the yin of yang, the expression of too much masculine energy. It's unbalanced, so it has to fall back into form. And then the ignorance becomes the teacher, and we realize. Then we feel the shame, the guilt, betrayal, whatever. Because we knew, but we didn't. Because we didn't take it out of the box within ourselves. We didn't bring the awareness up. And we all do this. Doesn't matter who you are. If you're living, you have to play. I see a lot of things happening. I'm trying not to create self-prophecy, trying to release hubris, hubris is the illusion, of course. When you take hold of the illusion, it lives in you and forms the delusion of nemesis, and you become your own enemy, and you bring that out in others, even though they may love you or care for you. Subconscious agreements, operating at a different base of consciousness. All I know is nature is the key. That's the real value. Not just the nature of the world, being in it, feeling it, knowing it, but realizing you are it. It's in you. And all the lowest common denominator, subconscious loops which we reflect and project and absorb, all that is part of a manifested form of that creative potential trapped in the static of another cycle, progression of the polis, of the egregors, of the overminds, of whatever. Another layer of the onion, they're spinning in different directions. And the friction is lived through us. We are not the friction. We are helping the friction happen, creating, cultivating reality in that way. You can do anything you put your mind to. But what is the mind tethered to? How deep is that anchor point? How far from self will you drift? How far from a truth can you accept? What will you sublimate it with? And what do you do when you realize? It's a natural instinct. The intuition sings its song long before we realize it. The one thing we do know, though, is it's not rainy every day. Medusa's on the hunt through the technology, through the subconscious of our neighbors, our family, our friends, through our own shadow. What holds you in a broken heart so that you don't feel guilty for feeling good? If you don't rise, no one else will. But how do you rise? Will you be possessed by the yin of yang, the lowest common denominator default for utopian creation? Or will you do something else? We will be tested this way, or maybe more so given opportunity to realize in life, bring the ignorance and the knowledge to form, so wisdom may be born and expressed. Yes, with AI, algorithms, and all that other stuff, pretty much nothing of true merit will ever be shared over technology that will reach a lot of people. But the bigger issue is that the demarcation, the proxy for information isn't out on the internet so much as it is within ourselves and the programming of our conditioning. And we are being conditioned. So feeling into nature is, that's the balance. That's your, or could be, your demarcation point between the illusion and the delusion. So as the shadows cross the line, the divide between dark and light, you can make your judgment calls within yourself. Do not sacrifice for the unjust, and you will be given a just sacrifice through life, through the world, in some way.